everyone, welcome to today's video. So today we're doing a fangirl diaries style vlog. So I'm going to take you along with me for a book haul, talk about all my latest hyperfixations, whether it be books, music, all of that. And I thought I'd just take you along in all of my fangirl fun for this week. So, very exciting news that came out yesterday when I'm filming this. Sabrina Carpenter just announced her new album, and if you know anything about me, I've loved Sabrina since the beginning. I was probably too old for Disney Channel, but I still watched Girl Meets World every episode at the time because I just fell in love with Sabrina and with her character on the show at the time. And yeah, so this album, her first, is really nostalgic for me, so I pull it out in the summer because it gives all the happy summer vibes. I know she didn't write most of this album, and it was like very produced and not necessarily her, and I love everything she's produced since and like her own style and everything that she's found as she's grown up, but I have to admit I do love this album still, so I popped it in the CD player today. Sorry for the sound of the AC, but it is like 90 degrees, so I finished Lady Midnight last night, and I had to do a reading update in this vlog because this book, I feel like I read the prologue like at least twice trying to pick this book up since 2016 when it was released, and I'm like, how has it taken me this long to actually like read the whole book? I don't know. It just like wasn't the right time, I guess, but this was the right book at the right time. If I've ever had that experience, this was it, because I just could not put it down this time. I read this in 6 days. It's over 600 pages. I don't know what came over me. If you know Hallie, who runs the Common Room shop, she's been talking about the Shadowhunter world lately and like Shadowhunter Summer, and it just made me like, I miss this world and I want to get back into it. So I was like, well, I've read up to the point of Lady Midnight, so this was the next one from where I had left off a couple years ago, and I was just like, I need to be in this world, and apparently that was like truly the right feeling at the right time because I cannot put it down, and now I want to just read Lord of Shadows and abandon my entire TBR. Hello, I have a very exciting package. Let's open this up together. I'm so excited. Ah, it's so cute. I'm so excited. Okay, so if you know Sarah Caroli and Destiny Sidwell, they have a podcast together called Bookmark'd, and it is my favorite. And so they just did merch with the shop House of Jupiter, and mine came in. Are you kidding? There's a bookmark, drink of the episode. It has little drinks on the other side. This is so cute. And the packaging is so cute. I don't even want to like tear it off. I'm gonna see. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it out this way. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Yay! I'm so excited to wear this all the time. It's so cozy, and I was worried because I got the small that it would be like a little too small, but it still has the oversized fit, which I wanted. So I'm so excited to wear this. Yay! We have reached the book haul portion of this video. So I've been accumulating quite a few books over the past few months, and I thought I'd just show you what I've gotten recently. The first book that I have to show you today is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath and Ariel as well. So when Tortured Poets Department was coming out, I was very much like, I need to read these, and I still haven't read them, but I did buy them, so at some point I will read some Sylvia Plath. So if you haven't heard of Sylvia Plath, she wrote a lot of poetry. She wrote this novel, The Bell Jar, and she's just a famous tragic writer, and I was just very interested in any connections that would like be between her and Taylor's writing, so I want to read her work so that I can find those and maybe write about it eventually. So that's why I got these. The next book I have to show you is the A Court of Thorns and Roses Special Collector's Edition. It is beautiful. I got this for my anniversary. Are you kidding? It's so pretty. So I've had it face out on my shelves over in my main room because it is just so pretty and I love it. If you've somehow never read A Court of Thorns and Roses, first of all, read it. Second of all, it's about Feyre, who lives in a small village near the border of her lands and the fairy lands, and so she is trying to provide for her family. Her mother passed away and she has 2 sisters and her father, so she goes hunting in the woods, and one day the creature she kills looks a little more magical than your average wolf. So that's like the very, very brief way to explain the very first book. But there's a lot of romance, there's a lot of intrigue, and it just gets really good as you keep going in the series. And the second one is my favorite. But I love this series so much that I just had to get the special edition. The first book I read this year was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And this book took over my life. Like, it's just, there's something so special about it. And I just adore everything about this world. So I like to pitch it as if The Hunger Games and Throne of Glass combined, but then it was like everything that you love about both of them, and it's like there are things you wouldn't expect from it, but it follows Peyton and Kai, and they are just so good, and it is a young adult series, and there are going to be 2 more. It's going to be a trilogy. And then there's also this novella that came out about one of the characters in this book, Adina, and this just follows the same events as Powerless, but from Adina's perspective. It is so good as well, and so I am so excited to read Reckless. It comes out July 2nd, and I am counting down the days. I am so excited. Next, I have Funny Story by Emily Henry. Of course, I picked up her new release. I still need to read it. What? Hopefully my next video is going to be a reading vlog of this book because I can't believe I've waited this long. But what happened was I reread all of her other books, and I think I just like read too many in a row without anything else. So I've been taking a break to read some fantasy, but I will be reading this as soon as possible so that I can talk about it with you guys. But Funny Story follows Daphne and Miles, and Daphne's a children's librarian. I work in a library, so that aspect is very intriguing to me, and I just can't believe that I haven't picked it up yet. Like, come on, Shannon. So I will be reading this soon. The next book I have is also a new release. It's Attached at the Hip by Christine Riccio, and I already read this one and absolutely loved it. It was so good. But Christine Riccio has been on YouTube for years talking about books, and this is her 3rd full-length novel, and she is such a good writer. She writes comedy so well. Like, I don't think anyone else's books make me laugh as much as hers, but she also just is really good at writing characters and making you just giddy for them. And I absolutely felt that way while reading this book. So it's like Survivor, but if Survivor had a dating element to it. That's the best way to describe it, and it is just so much fun. I love the premise. I loved all of the like cameos between characters, and I know I'm kind of reviewing it now, but it's just such a good book and you should definitely pick it up. The next book I have is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I've heard so much about this book and still haven't read it, but I am doing like the summer reading program at my library, and this was one of the options for a prize, and so I was like, well, it's been on my list forever, so I might as well pick it up. So hopefully I'll get to this one sometime soon. And the last two books I have to show you are the last two books, well, the latest two books in the Magnolia Parks universe. So Daisy Hates The Great Undoing and Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. And I know these books are going to wreck my soul, so I don't think I'm emotionally prepared, but I love them and I love these characters so much that I just have to read them anyway. So I will be picking these up as soon as the mood strikes. It's just hard based on the way the third book ended. I'm also like emotionally preparing myself for this one, and I just know I'm going to love them though, so it's going to be worth it. I just need to read them. These are all of the books that I've bought recently, and I'm so excited to read the ones that I haven't yet, and I loved all the ones that I have read already, so I'm just super excited to have these on my shelves and be able to display them now. But I realized that I forgot that I went to Barnes this morning, and I have 2 more books to show you for my book haul. So the first one is Can't Spell Treason Without T. This has been all over my TikTok For You page lately, and it just seems like the cutest thing ever. So it's Reina and Keontae want to open a bookshop. They have both been in these like very intense magical world situations, royalty, but they just want to leave that behind and open a bookshop, but they're complications that ensue, and the cover, the title, that description on the back just made me like, okay, I've seen it enough, and now that I read the description, I couldn't just leave it at the bookstore, so I had to get that. And then we have Tress of the Emerald Sea. These were on a buy one get one half off sale as well, so might as well, right? I love a good floppy paperback, and both of these are, and I have been meaning to read this for a while. It's a Brandon Sanderson book, but it was one of his Kickstarter ones. It was something he started as a project on Kickstarter. It wasn't meant to be published, but then enough people liked it that a traditionally published version is out now, so I decided I'd get it because I do think he's a good writer, and I've only read a couple of his and not the ones that people know. Just randomly in high school I read Steelheart, and I didn't love that series, but I think his writing has potential for me to love it. Eventually I want to try Mistborn, but I think this might be a sweet spot for me just because I think he wrote it for his wife too, but it just sounds more up my alley. It's a little more cozy fantasy. Sounds fun. The bookmark they gave me is actually cute and not an advertisement. It's always nice when you get one of these from Barnes, because I feel like a lot of the time it's just like, get our credit card, you know. I decided to get out all my stickers, so here we are decorating my Kindle case and my water bottle. I just wanted to give a little refresh to both, so I thought it would be fun to do that, and hopefully you enjoy this part. I just wanted to bring you along as I did that. This is what we've got so far. So I put my little romance reader, Taylor's version, and then I have one of my favorite Taylor lyrics, which is "If you never bleed, you're never gonna grow," from The One. I have a little Soot Sprite, and then a bookstore, and then a little Totoro, and this little book with flowers growing out of it. I think it turned out really cute. We're ready. Oh, not my see. It's cozy reading time, my favorite. I have a poppy. This is the orange cream flavor. I'm going to be very careful. I have my book, Lord of Shadows, and I have Cheez-Its because yum. I have my newly decorated water bottle. That is amazing. It's literally like an orange creamsicle. We have reached the end of today's episode of Fangirl Diaries. My next video is going to be my funny story reading vlog, so definitely stick around for that. And thank you for watching today, and I'm so happy to have you here. So, see you next time. Bye! Shannon's being Shannon. Is this setup precarious? Absolutely. So it's been a little while since I've made... Why am I like this? Okay, this is a test shot to see if I actually like this angle. I was gonna give synopses. I just started a clip for my vlog as you did that.